Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new to our channel, subscribe and drop this video a like. We'll have a like target of 200. Like I keep saying, we're close to 5,000 subscribers. So if you could get us over the line, that would be perfect. As you can see over my shoulder, we've got a new addition to the pod studio. We've got a signed Juan Pablo Angel picture. I had that for Christmas. It's absolute beauty. So I thought, what no better place than for it to go on the backdrop to the pod. I hope everybody's had a good Christmas. It's unfortunate that the game didn't really give us the result we wanted against Chelsea, but nonetheless, it was great to be back at Villa Park, especially for myself, having missed a couple with COVID, and then obviously we had the postponement against Burnley. So I was buzzing to be back. I didn't think the COVID situation was too bad. And I thought Sanson played pretty good. And I think it's just showed some areas that we do need to improve on. I think Gerrard now has had a long, hard look at the squad. I know he's been, chatting to Jedinak as well on how the loan players are doing as well. So I think there's certain areas that I think short term we can maybe fix, and I think long term we've got to be looking at as well. So this is a bit of a transfer special. Obviously, the transfer window opens pretty soon. So I thought I'd give my thoughts. These are just my opinions. So, don't shoot me down. I'm not playing Football Manager and just picking names out. So I'd like you guys as well to drop your thoughts on who you think would be good additions, what positions you feel like need improving, short term and long term as well. So let me know your thoughts as well. Get in the comments, and we can see, what the majority is saying and who you think we should be signing. So I think I'd like to look at the Villa squad to start with, on areas which I think we can massively improve on, and then areas where I see certain players maybe outgoings as well. So we'll start with a couple of outgoings who I see 100% need a move. Number one would be Keenan Davis. I think it's time for him to get a loan move to a championship club, or maybe a permanent move elsewhere. I don't feel like Davis is ever going to be a regular starter under Gerrard, and I just think for his career, it would definitely benefit him to maybe move on. But it probably would be a loan move. I know Stoke were heavily in talks with him as well. A couple that which we could probably see go, but I think this one would be a bit of a, nostalgically pretty. I feel a bit gutted that he'd left, but maybe El Ghazi. I think for everything that he's done for Villa in the championship, he was part of that championship team that got us promoted. And he has scored some key goals in the Premier League as well. But I feel like under Gerrard, I really don't think he's going to be getting a look in here. So I could probably see El Ghazi leaving. I could actually see El Ghazi going to Norwich and following Dino. You see a lot in football that certain managers take players from club to club, and I think El Ghazi might be one of those players, or he maybe go abroad. And then another one would be, I'd say Trezeguet maybe. He's nowhere near match fit, so I can't see him going in January, but he's another one that I just don't really see featuring too much, although, he's a good utility player, but we haven't seen much of him recently. So those are the three that I could possibly see leaving Aston Villa. And another thing is why I probably would say those two especially is that we're not really playing with out and out wingers anymore, which brings me on to Leon Bailey as well. So I don't feel like he's gonna go, but I just think at the minute we've got to sort of get him into our side where we're not really playing without an out strikers. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a conundrum, really, whether he can fit into Gerrard's system or not. But against City, the worst signs that him and Buendia were linking up to some sort as well. So it's all about the system for me. We're not really playing without and out wingers, but we've got a lot of wingers. So I think that's a little bit of a sticking point, especially when you're looking at trying to shoehorn Danny Ings and Watkins into the same side. It just doesn't really work. The way we are playing at the minute is the fullbacks are offering us the width, not the wingers. The wingers are sort of tucking in and playing as like number 10s basically. the centre midfielders, three of them fan out with the width of the pitch, and it's the fullbacks which are getting forward. So out and out wingers in this Gerrard system, I don't really see it working, to be honest. But I may be wrong, but that's just my little vibe. So I think, especially when you're saying Watkins against Chelsea, you know, you could probably do with sort of like another number 10-ish player in that role. I don't think Danny Ings works either. That combo just doesn't work for me. So we'll get on to Danny Ings now. For me, it's probably one of the weirdest signings we've done, and we've spent a lot of money on Danny Ings. I know actually we're in a different era now, so it was a Smith signing, maybe it wasn't, and now we're playing a totally different system. But it's just not working, is it? And I think I want to see Ollie Watkins through the middle all day long. So I'm not sure on the role that Danny Ings is going to play for Villa. It just looks to me like, I don't know. I felt like, especially against Chelsea, that Watkins and Ings were out wide and we were whipping balls in, and there wasn't a striker in the box. And I think you'd want Danny Ings in the box on the penalty spot, but he just weren't in the box, was he, against Chelsea, which I just found a little bit strange. So I just don't think that role works with them two. I'd rather see Watkins through the middle, and I think Danny Ings would have to be on the bench. So that's my only one that I just felt like at the summer recruitment is a little bit weird. Danny Ings, he looks really low and confident. He doesn't look fit to me. I know we've got COVID and injury issues, but that's one area which I feel we just need to sort out, basically. And when I was on about Bailey, I'm not saying that I think we should get rid of Bailey. I just feel like we've got to see more of him and get him into a system which it works for him as well, because he's a real top quality player and we need to see the best out of him as well. And we've spent a lot of money on him. So areas where I feel like short term, I think we could maybe bring someone in is in the central defensive midfielder. I think that was the one all summer. Every Villa fan was wanting us to bring in, and we didn't. And I think we could still see from going to the games, from watching Villa this season, that we really need a tackling central midfielder in there that can just grab the game by the scruff of the neck when it's sort of getting away from us, calm us all down, and just start winning those balls and just laying it off and letting the two other central midfielders just be more creative and do their stuff. I think we just lack that little bit of stability at times, and that little bit of defensive nous on the little bit of a transition as well. I think we saw when the camera was playing in that role, he did it really, really well. And it's really unfortunate that he's out injured, but I think we really need to bring in a CDM. I don't want to bait the Rangers fans, but we'll sign who we want. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, Kamara, I'm not sure whether he's the right man. Obviously, Gerrard has had a long look at him through seeing him play for Rangers. But I do feel like a CDM 100%, and that's the one position that I think we could possibly bring in the January transfer window. Some other areas which I feel like we need to address, I feel like we need a left back backup or a left back to maybe replace Matt Targett. Basically because I think at the minute, I think we are a little bit disjointed with the width out wide. I think Matty Cash, fantastic. I think if you can just touch upon his crossing and finishing, a little bit more composure. He's tenacious. He gets forward, and he's playing really well at the minute. A little bit of a lack of concentration, lack of awareness for the penalty against Chelsea, but all in all, Matty Cash, fantastic, and I think he's brilliant at right back. I think we probably do need cover at right back as well, so I could maybe see us signing a young right back, but we've got Kesler Hayden as well, who's out on loan doing bits for Swindon, but I think he probably needs another loan, probably maybe to a championship club, just for his development. But definitely need a backup right back, and we need another left back, because I just feel like Target, I really like Target. I think defensively, he's sound at times. I think he does do well. I think his defending has improved quite a lot over the years that he's been at Villa. But I just feel like attacking wise, pace wise, with Grealish, he was brilliant. But I just think at the minute, I just feel like Cash is a little bit more further forward, and Target is sort of like sitting a little bit back a little bit more. And I just think we just lack the balance of the two. I think if you ask me which is the better left back or what, Matty Cash all day long. Whereas I'd like to just see a little bit more balance, and I think our side will be a little bit stronger. I think we are a little bit weaker on the left-hand side as well. I think obviously on the right you've got Cash. McGinn helps a lot being on that right-hand side role, and then I think you've got Buendia as well. So I think that side's pretty solid. You've got Bailey that can come in on that side as well. But I just think the left-hand side is a little bit weaker for me. So I think we definitely need a left back. And like I was saying earlier about the wingers, we're not really playing with wingers. So I think we probably could do with maybe another number 10-ish player. Just playing alongside Buendia on the opposite side as well. I think the link-up would be a little bit better. I think we look a little bit... Especially against Chelsea, we just looked a little bit flat, I thought. We just weren't as cohesive as what I would probably have liked. But all in all, every other game that I've watched us play this season under Gerrard, we've been really good. So, yeah, another number 10-ish player. Maybe we could get maybe a lone player. A backup keeper, I think Steer, I just don't think he's strong enough to be back up to Martinez. So I'd like to see another keeper coming in. And maybe a centre-back. Again, it sounds pretty negative, to be fair, this, but I think Twanzabe's not really hit the heights of what he was like for us in the Championship. So I'm not sure what we're doing there. You've seen the likes of Joe Gomez linked with us as well at centre-back, and that rumour just doesn't really go away. Alvarez is obviously doing bits for River Plate still, so he looks like he's a really good player, but you're looking at like apparently Real Madrid are after him now, so teams like that, so I just don't really feel like we may be in the market for that. So I think for me, for definites, what I'd want to see: CDM, left back, right back, and another number 10-ish. Maybe we could get maybe someone on loan like a Lingard. I got slated last January on the podcast for thinking we should be going for Lingard, and what a signing he was for West Ham. So maybe we could get someone out on loan. This window, you don't really see many teams doing much in the January transfer window. I think we'll just see a couple come in, maybe one or two go out on loan. Eagle eye looking at Newcastle to see what they do, because they're an absolute mare. I'm not sure how I see that one going. Not sure who they're going to be bringing in, but I think they're going to be busy this window. But I think Gerrard's had a good, long, hard look at the squad. I think he mentioned, McAllister mentioned after the Chelsea game that they've learned a lot from the 3 games against Liverpool, City and Chelsea. And I think they're a little bit surprised at some of the ways in which they're playing as well. So I think it's been good to test ourselves. We've done well against a good team. Well, the 3 top teams, but I do feel like it's time for us to start getting some points against them now, and trying to put in some real big performances, starting at Old Trafford, in the Cup, and then we got them having we at home. So it'd be lovely to do the double over them. Absolutely lovely to beat them at home as well. So right, let's just go to some of the thoughts from the Villa fans. Gary Plaza is put, I think we need a new defensive mid will be the priority, but to get a top class one in Jan is hard. We won't spend big for the short term. No, I think now we're in a position that when we're signing these players, they've got to be the right player. Gone are the days where we're bringing in like a Tom Carroll on loan, a Borja Baston on loan. Them days are done. We should be steering well away from any of those types of players. He's put McKennie or Kamara are a possibility. The best 2 available without massive fees. Also Kamara from Rangers mentioned, but not for me. A left back to push Target as well. Yeah, pretty much what I was saying with Target. I just feel like a little bit of competition, and another maybe another option going forward. Pete Wilkes, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 6 words out of him for this one. He's put a fullback, defensive mid, and a striker. Fullback, defensive mid, yes. Striker, I'm not so sure. We spent 30 million on Danny Ings. I'm not sure whether we're going to bring in another striker, and I think we should now, Archer. We should be maybe giving him minutes at times, or does Archer need to go out on loan? Let me know on how you feel like Archer needs to do. I think Louis Barry needs to come back and go out on loan. That's definitely not worked at Ipswich. Alex has put left back, backup keeper possibly, and a defensive midfielder too. Reckon we'll end up with any Rangers players. I think we really like Patterson, aren't we? The young right back. So that probably fits the bill a little bit. Obviously Kamara, but I'm not sure we're going to go for Kamara. I think depends. I've heard as well that Lang and Gerard's really impressed with Lang as well, so that's one to keep an eye on. Nigel B6 has put Wijnaldum, Joe Gomez, Aaron Hickley, Romeo, Julian Alvarez are all shouts for me, which virtually guarantees we'll get none of them. Wijnaldum would be a right shout. That would be a right shout. I don't think it's working out for him at PSG, and he's not happy, but I don't know. Would he come back to the Premier League? Gomez, yes. Romeo, he's a beast, isn't he? He's an absolute beast. John has put Lukaku, Van Dijk, De Bruyne, Kante. Seriously, it's a difficult question. I thought Ings was a fantastic signing, but he hasn't improved us. None of the summer signings have. The academy is brilliant. So I mean, the summer recruitment, Buendia, I see a player in Buendia. I think he's shown glimpses of what he can do. I think if you asked him probably to rate his performances at Villa at the minute, he'd probably say he's playing to a 6.5, 7 out of 10. There's plenty more to come from Buendia. I just think with Buendia at the minute, I just don't feel we've got that balance right around him at times, which he's going to improve, and I think his game is going to improve, but I think he's going to come good, Buendia. Bailey, obviously, has been really unfortunate. We've seen glimpses again, but he's been injured quite a lot, so we haven't really seen the best of him. And Ings, yes, like I said, I'm not sure on that. I'm just not sure on Ings. It's Watkins through the middle all day long for me. And Victor Sutton has put a centre-half who isn't mistake-prone, a central midfielder who can tackle. Definitely central midfield for me. avfc fan has put a fast, athletic left-back, a left-sided attacker, and a defensive midfielder are all areas that we'd like to see us target. To be fair, I think all these Villa fans, we're all on the same lines, aren't we? We all can see where needs improving, basically. So it's pretty good to see Villa fans all agreeing with each other. So you'll have to let us know in the comment section. What now? This one never going to happen. But my favourite player at the minute in the Premier League, well, one of Gallagher. I absolutely love him. I love him. I think he's quality. We can't let him not come to a Midlands club and have that he got relegated with West Brom. Can't have that, can we? So he needs to come to a good West Midlands side. Well, there is only one anyway. But I think he's fantastic. He's now getting goals. He's absolutely everywhere on the pitch. His awareness, I think he's absolutely tremendous. And I would love to see him in a Villa shirt, but it's never going to happen. He's going to have a bit of a tough time, Gallagher, now, because he's going to come off the back of having a fantastic season at Palace and going back to Chelsea, and it's whether Tuchel plays him. Basically, I can honestly, I think it's going to be a bit of like a Tammy Abraham with him. I think he might get some minutes to start with, but he's just not gonna. I just don't see him starting for Chelsea week in, week out. So I would love to see us sign him, but I feel like we've got no chance. But if I could have one player That's it would have. And let me know if you could have one player, who would you guys want to bring in? So for me, I'd really want to bring in Gallagher. So yeah, I just thought I'd give my thoughts on where I feel like we need improving, outgoings and incomings. We will do some transfer ones in January when some more rumours come out, but we'll keep a close eye on it. And yeah, this jacket, I love this jacket as well. This was a little cheeky Christmas present as well. It's like a drill top, but just with the round badge. It's quality, in it. Love it. It's just got a blue back. So yeah, and we've got a zip down one as well, which is quite nice. So yes, I may have to get that one as well. But yeah, chuffed with it. 2 little Villa presents. This one and this little picture here. Class. Let me know if you had any Christmas presents as well, any Villa related stuff. So get in the comments, let me know who you want us to sign, areas that you think we should be signing players in, if you've had any Villa gear for Christmas or what you've had for Christmas. And we'll be back. I think it's me and Justin will be back for the Brentford preview, because obviously the Leeds game is postponed as well. So yes, have a good rest of the Christmas period and up the Villa.